Welcome to Sonderling Inc. Episode 35. My name is Semlander and I have some players.
Yo, I'm Dragon. I'm playing the Druid Earth.
What? Why are you laughing?
It's your turn!
I'm Eastborn, and I'm playing Strix the Goblin Wizard.
I'm Holocall, playing the human fighter called Holocall.
I'm Inte, I'm playing the human rogue called Holgold Wolves.
I am Vosk and I'm playing the elf Virgirus, sorcerer elf.
I'm Xura playing the Kobold Ranger Grunthos.
And I'm going to refresh to see if I can get Dragon's cam to show up. So we'll see if that does. But who wants to go over what happened last time? Nope, all cams broke. Everything's broken.
Just wait a bit, son.
Usually. Anyway, that's fine. We can go from here. So who wants to go over what happened last time?
Alright, so last time on Sama D&D of Sonderling Inc., we were introduced to a new character, myself, and our other lovely individuals were willingly abducted and taken to a cave, where they met a half-elf that is over 200 years old. There were some interesting conversations that took place, including a deal that was struck. I tagged along when they went back to their inn, where they were met by a vampire, who they decided to attack because he looked familiar. He got his butt whooped so bad. There was not even a fight.
Oh, it was a fight. It just didn't last.
And then we ended. Here we are.
All right. So, did somebody? I don't think somebody did. Eastbourne. There you go. So, Captain, probably not actually a captain, but the guy in charge of the guard that were cleaning up the zombimans, walks up and says, "All right, who set off the fireball?"
That was me. I'm sorry.
He gets out a pad of paper and he writes something on it and hands it to you.
I'll take it.
It's effectively it's a ticket. He's got his name on it and the charge, illegal use of destructive magic in a residential area. Something along the lines of, here's a court date. It's like from a month from now. It's like, all right.
I'm saying, wait a minute. Excuse me. Did you maybe want to end up like that guy? And I point to the guy that got his heart ripped, because that's what I was trying to prevent here.
It's very good. Citizens are helping take care of problems, but I can't.
I tried to get the least amount of damage in, and I trying to kind of immediately took everything off. I'm willing to pay for the damage. That's no problem.
I tell you what, show up in court and make your argument there, and the judge will probably let you off with a small fine. Is there anything else I should know before? I mean, we get the undead taken care of. Thank you, by the way, for killing their leader.
I don't think we killed him. He just went poof and death. Escaped in his shadow form or whatever that is.
Great. So the leader got away. It was fine. That's you stabbed him real hard. I saw that part. But do you guys this is the only part of the city that's been attacked. And they teleported here, as far as we can tell, we, teleport here about an hour and a half ago, came straight to this place. Do you have any idea why they're here? I mean, what do they have against a kebab shop in the middle of town that, 10, 15 undead show up? Somebody had a reason to send them here.
Maybe they just were hungry.
I
Then we
mean,
killed
the
him.
kebabs are good.
Yes, a while ago. I hope we killed him, but he ended up very dead and in ashes.
So this isn't the first time you've dealt with this undead?
The first time I've dealt with the undead. But it would seem to me, sir, it would seem to me maybe you don't want them coming back to town right away if they came straight for them.
Fair.
You want us to hold us here for 1 month until the court date, right?
I'm not going to arrest you. I just will expect you to reappear, and if you don't, then, well, if you're
probably
you will be
have to
arrested
stay
upon
here.
return to town. I can't hold you here.
Yeah, but I kind of have to here. Otherwise, I'll be missing my court date. So inadvertently, you're kind of expecting me to be here. I mean, I could try and travel to somewhere else, but I mean,
Look,
I would say if I would be returned.
he points down the street. There's a teleportation circle right there. From wherever you're at, you can teleport here. It's like 3 brass.
So
Like 10
can
brass.
can I get in paper that you kind of don't want me in the city, but want me to show up in a month, so I can show the paper to another city if he shows up again there?
Fine, whatever. He takes the paper back from you and rips it up. Look,
Thank you very much.
look. What I want is an explanation, if you have one, of why in the heck there are a bunch of undead in my city. Well, not my city, but the city that I guard.
We will tell you when we find out, because we also want to know how they got to us.
Fair enough.
Can you leave us your name and where to find you?
Yes. My name is Reginald. I am the sergeant of the evening shift in this part of town. If you ask at the local constabulary, yeah, they will know who I'm at. Know who I am or who I'm at.
Then we will inform you
I have
when
one more
we have
question.
more information.
All right.
Do you have the name of the owner of this establishment here? I do want to right my wrongs with them.
I don't know his name. I mean, he's right there. He points behind you. There's some people like peeking out from the back room. You guys all see Horgold with them, kind of looking at you, standing here talking to the guard.
I'll walk up to them and I'll say, "Hey, well, I'm very sorry how this turned out," and I point at the building where it's scorched and probably burned a bit. Do you have any rough idea how much it would cost to repair it? Because I would be happy to pay for it if I can.
I don't know. I'll talk to you in the morning. Are the undead gone?
So far as we can tell, yes.
I mean, I moved here to get away from them. He kind of mumbles to himself and looks kind of does some internal. All right.
Wait.
Wait.
What do you
Where
mean?
did you move from to here?
Takui Den. That's why this is the Takui Den.
I say
Right.
from the southern continent.
Yes, I moved from the southern continent. I used to live in
Tell us
Takuiden,
more.
but there are, if you didn't know, there are some undead down there. They're not very nice, and it was better to not be there anymore, because I have a family. He kind of motions to the people behind him. You see adult, people who look enough like him that they look like adult children. Probably he's a older middle 50s, maybe 60 gentleman. Probably adult children in the range of 13 to 20 ish.
Humans?
Yes, all humans. The guards are like wrapping up, taking the bodies out, and heading off. They're just done with you. But yeah, no, I moved here to get away from the undead. You have heard there's a whole city down there, right?
A little bit.
Well, there's a whole city of undead down there, and they are. Look, zombies aren't too bad, but ghouls are scary because the ones that haven't eaten in a while look like humans until they start eating people, and the don't even get me started on ghosts and anything else. Look, it's been much safer here. I moved literally halfway across the world to get away from all this.
What kind of precautions were you guys taking when you were still there? I assume you were taking some.
Holy symbols help a lot if you put holy symbols around your business. But those have to be maintained and re-blessed, and that's expensive. And you learn to pray to the winter gods because they really hate undead. Like, they really hate undead. This whole dying thing, I think there's something with the whole, the dead are supposed to be dead sort of thing, and so the gods of death really don't like it. So put their holy symbols on things, especially keeps the like more intelligent ones away, but like the dumb ones can just, I don't know. And every once in a while, you just close all the doors, you lock yourself in your room, and you wait for the horde to pass, or the clerics come out and clean them up.
So, in Takwiden itself, there's a lot of undead as well.
It's not like it's a daily thing, but a couple times a year, there'll be an incursion into the city, and there are guards who are used to dealing with it, and they'll take care of it. But it can be bad. People go missing more than anything, and I think personally, that's the undead. You'll have an uncle who works out in the field south of town, and then you'll stop hearing from him. You'll go down there, and the farm will be empty, and his animals will not be taken care of.
So it's mostly on the south part.
Yes, that's the direction of the undead town.
Well, thank you for the information. I'll take up take up contact with you in the morning then. I'll start heading away.
He says, yeah. All right. He starts yelling, niece. One of his daughters looks to be named Niece, not actually never mind. He says, get the meat from last night out. We'll get started early this morning. And he starts like lighting a fire inside of his stove, and guys start like smelling smells of food being made. Bread being made early in the morning.
So breakfast and talk?
Yeah, please fill me in.
Is there a table big enough in the shop?
Sorry,
In the
what?
Restaurant? Is there a table big enough for all of us, or do we have to make some together?
Yeah, you could push a couple tables together, no problem. Like there's probably not a 6-person table in this shop, but a couple of 4-people tables pushed together works pretty well. And this place is empty. It's like 3 a.m. at this point.
Good for time.
I guess I'm gonna go and finish my long rest because I don't want to die the next morning. I'll leave it to you guys to tell when I walk upstairs.
I'm buying a drink.
The barkeep is like, you ask for a beer and they point to the cup mug. He's like, just serve yourself. You've been here for a few days. I gotta get the eggs. Where are the eggs at? Why are there no eggs? What do you mean it's too early? The egg. Oh God. All right. So what we do? he mumbled. He like the door closes a little bit and he's muttering in the background.
I'm grabbing a beer then.
Okay. Beer is available. You guys review with Horgold what you learned. I don't know what else. The morning slowly rises. About 6 o'clock, people start coming by. Getting like they start putting out the flatbread and the kebab egg wraps, and all the people working in the back look tired, perhaps a little worried, but otherwise, healthy, and like there's none of them missing or anything. There's one of them that's gone around and like picked up the zombie bodies and thrown it out in the street that were like littered around the inside of this place that Horgold took care of. And then it's a fairly normal morning. The guards have taken all the remnants away, and the city like is a normal morning for the city.
Question for the smart guys in our group. Can the undead track other dead undeads? Because I took the vampire ashes when we defeated the other vampire and I have them in my backpack.
You actually look in your backpack and you find those ashes missing.
Oh, they are gone.
What is it gone?
I had the ashes of the vampire in my backpack and they are no longer there.
The vampire from the beginning.
Where we freed what's her name? Elena? I think it was Elena.
Yep.
That's weird.
Did anyone take something?
Remind me, why did you take them again?
To make sure maybe they were valuable. I don't know. It was a spur of the moment.
Is there a way to know where they are gone, or if they just vanished, or?
Could some clerics, Basima or something, check if we are cursed or whatever? I don't know. I'm not very familiar with this kind of undead stuff. Just to make sure that they cannot pop up again, that this was a one-time thing, and now the ashes are gone.
To be fair, there has been a lot of encounters now to be a one-time thing.
2.
Remember last night, Lephalis suggested that you guys get a hold of some mind blank objects. Specifically, let me see if I look it up.
Yes, but didn't she say she would get them for us?
She did.
You did.
All right, so let me look it up. Think it's a ring. No, is it a ring or a flat?
I
there's
believe it was
rings.
going to be rings.
Rings of elemental command, ring of evasion, ring of reaction.
I have no idea.
Ring of mind shielding. Page 191 if you're reading along.
How does that work?
Well, maybe that's not what I'm looking for. Ring of mind shielding. While wearing this ring, you are immune to magic that allows other creatures to read your thoughts, determine whether you are lying, know your alignment. Creatures telepathically communicate with you only if you allow it. You can use this ring to become. You can cause an action to become invisible or invisible. Oh, it's not mind shielding that I'm thinking of. There's a thing that lets that stops somebody from scrying on you. Telekinesis, ring of the ram, ring of warmth, ring of X-ray, robe of eyes.
Amulet of proof against detection and location.
There we go. That sounds right. Let's go to that.
Can I use my detect magic to detect if you are somehow being followed? Or
It would be wouldn't be a detect magic. It would be
oh
like I think there might be detect scrying.
no, I have dispel magic. I was wrong.
Amulet of proof. There you go. Amulet of proof against detection and location. There you go. So you guys, probably about 10 a.m. if you're still here. There is a package that arrives for you.
Well, when I get up, I'll go to the guys to discuss the damage.
They've looked it over. They're like, don't worry about it. It's like a whitewash and it's taken care of. I mean, if you really want to give me something like five bronze, I guess.
I'll give him 5 brass. As in.
Well, thank you, friend. It's appreciated.
Sure.
So yeah, you guys get a package around 10 o'clock arriving here. Inside of it are 5 amulets. They all look very, very similar. They look new. Arcana or identify.
Yes, Arcana.
Yes, 5.
Oh. Okay.
Whatever you identify. There you go.
Oh God! There it starts again.
Vergeros, you think they're magical, but you're not sure.
At least I think they're magical. That's something.
Strix, yeah, no, these are the amulets that you're talking about. That she was talking about. So
Don't I just pick up the ring and bite on it to make sure that's from gold or some metal?
and they look to be made of brass. They're like quickly made, I guess they look to you. Like they're the cheap end of, like, usually a lot of times magical like fancy, like fancy designs and etchings and stuff. No, this is like workman level. Maybe a bunch of apprentices made these or sort of thing. They look like amulets of thought hiding, whatever it was called. Proof against detection, and there are 5 of them.
So there's one short.
I'll just take one.
I mean, only 5 of you went.
Well, we are with 5 people and some druid just sit with us.
Right. We didn't check out what the deal is with the druid in all this confusion. Where do you come from, and why did you appear in that cave?
I'll take one as
I
well.
am making leaves fall on his head for his commentary.
On whose head? Horgold's or mine?
I just got called some druid. You now have leaves falling on your.
I don't think we have been introduced, did we? Or have I forgotten in all that hectic combat?
He did introduce himself.
Oh, okay. And then I didn't miss that. Sorry.
He is Earth. Where he comes from, I don't know.
He's a druid. That we do know as well. Seeing at leaves falling down on Horgold.
And I did very clearly state that I may be called Earth.
You are maybe called Earth.
You may call me Earth. That is what I said.
Ah, okay.
Nice to meet you.
And you guys know him?
No. You just appeared when we had our meeting with Playfulness. Playfulness? Playfulness? I don't know how it's spelled.
So you went away on a meeting without me?
No, we were pulled away to a meeting without you.
Oh, okay. Well, I had a
Where-
nice sleep. Waking
Where
up as
did you
zombies.
go?
I was asleep. I got waken up as zombies.
Did you forget your alarm?
No, I had an alarm at my sleeping quarters.
That's why he was woken up by zombies.
It's very strange. Maybe someone else meddled again with us.
But what's the plan now? You guys have some more information, I guess?
Lakshank Forest.
I don't see how we can pull that off, but okay.
Basically, we met Lythalis, and Lythalis wanted us to,
Actually,
I
we
guess.
met someone who claimed to be Lyphalis. We have no proof that she was who she.
I mean, her knowledge is kind of like they're making an army to start a war against the Langshark Forest elves, which, as far as we can tell, I assume there's some gathering of military might to oppose them. Sam, or not? Have we not?
You don't know.
Okay.
That's
right.
what she said.
Yep, that's what she said. And she only had, we only have to get them around the negotiation table for her to try and negotiate peace, so we can use the army to assault Uk.
But we do not have proof that any of this will be benefiting us. It could be some kind of clever trick.
Technically true.
If she
Cannot
is,
hurt.
if she is
Go ahead.
who she says she is, we get another army. If she isn't who she says she is, we don't get another army.
But
It's that
we do
easy.
get the pro that there's no war going around the Burgundy coast, which is, I
And
guess, good.
if Lakshank is also putting up an army, maybe we can convince them to give the army to us as well. Then you get 2 armies instead of 1 or 0.
But I mean, I do know that in Convergence there's a big unrest, but I'm not sure about the Langshan First themselves.
Yeah, from what she told you, the Blackshank elves are planning on using the unrest in Convergence to try to wrest that country back away from Kartuk.
So technically, if we can get the rest back in convergence, that would work as well, because then they will be defended again.
No, because if we leave with the Kartuk army, they will lose most their defense on convergence.
That's also true.
Just having an army is a threat on its own.
Would it be smart to first go to convergence?
Well, I guess. But didn't we want to do so? Oh, right, the ship thing was also okay whenever we made sure that there was no problem with the Langship first, I guess.
One thing I want to do before we leave Kartuk, I want to take a look at the teleportation circle.
Okay.
The guard said something about the teleportation circle, a constant teleportation.
Yes. So your character would be familiar, and I don't know if I gave you this in the world building, but every major city has one or more, basically just teleportation circles. They are built to let basically not really for trade. Like you can't bring a cart into it and have it teleport somewhere else, but a person could walk up, pay some amount of gold, and arrive at any other major city on this planet. Basically, it's, I guess, fast travel. So it's relatively expensive. Like you're common. You wouldn't use it to travel to like meet grandma over the weekend, but like wealthy merchants might send a ship off that's supposed to arrive in 3 months. Say, send a ship off from Kirsch that's supposed to arrive in 3 months in Orkland. And then 3 months later, they would teleport to Orkland to make sure their ship got unloaded and to handle the dealings with their sort of thing, you know. Yes, absolutely. That would be. So answering your question, and anybody with wizarding knowledge would know this. So if you want to get from where you are with teleportation to somewhere you haven't been, but there is a teleportation circle there, you can basically do that without risk of mishap.
Teleportation circle is the only.
Yeah, so each teleportation circle, and you all would be fairly familiar with this, like they have like charts of these in the, like, at the teleportation circles where you can look up essentially coordinates. And so spellcasters, if they want to use these to get from where they're at to a specific place, can do so without having to pay the fee. Basically, a wizard is strong enough, or a sorcerer or whatever, they don't want to piss them off. If you're strong enough to cast teleportation, they're gonna just, yeah, it's like, yeah, you can murder all of us and we'll just let you go, sort of thing. The teleportation circles are, I believe I said, they're 10 brass a person, so a person carrying whatever they're carrying. You can't carry more than what you can reasonably carry through it, so which is why, again, you don't see a lot of trade through these. Maybe some like really rare spice might come through teleportation circles, but other than that, it's mostly for rich people, nobles, so on and so forth, to get from here to there. The spices must flow. Yes, exactly. Very valuable reps. I mean, so speaking of, like, the spices used in these kebabs are fairly exotic for the part of the world that you guys are currently in, like cinnamon and nutmeg and that sort of thing. So perhaps this Reginald, or no, not Reginald, I didn't give him a name. The kebab shop owner, he might get his spices through this sort of thing, or he might just buy them, from trade ships. It's hard to know. But if you wanted the very freshest, then they would probably come through the teleportation circle, because it's, several months travel to the Spice Islands in the south.
Is there a teleportation circle near Uk or Takunen?
So Taquiden has one. That you would know. Ook fell before this system was in place. So Ook, as far as you know, does not have a teleportation circle, or if they do, it's not an official. It's not an official thing. There's no like chart of it here.
We don't know the sigil for it.
Right, and so it's one of those things where Alethea does have a teleportation circle. It is so Alethea is the major trade hub through. I don't think I think this is like the Great Wastes or something like that. This is a large desert down here on the southern continent. And so there is basically trade caravans that travel through here. There's no major settlements between Alethea and this country up here, but there's also not like a lot of trade that travels around the coast. Like this coast is bad. Like storms and think along the lines of the South Africa, the Storm Cape, or no, not South Africa, South America, that sort of area between the bottom and the Antarctica, where there's lots of very powerful storms. You can sail a ship there. It's not necessarily wise. So a lot of the trade from this kingdom, which has brain fart. This is like a lot of mineral wealth in this kingdom down south. A lot of that trade travels through Alethea and then out to used to go through Ook, but now travels either up through Taquiden or down through this city down here. Yeah, the Cape of Good Hope. It's not the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of the one just on South America that's like really bad, stormy, nearly year-round sort of thing. So there's some trade nowadays. Ships are getting better, stronger, more magical, and so some trade has started moving from there, like up to Orkland and around to the elves here, or the half elves here, Cape Horn. Thank you. But it's still pretty common for like trade caravans to travel from here all the way through Alethea and then out. This river itself is one of the reasons, because, well, river trade is much easier than walking trade, and Alethea's got a big freshwater, big for the middle of a desert freshwater lake.
Oasis.
That's a good word for it. All right. Okay, but yes, that the teleportation circles. If you can cast teleport, so teleport requires you to know like where you're going, like be familiar with the place, have a good scrying image of that place, and the less you know about a place, the more likely you are to have a mishap on the way and go to the wrong place or go into a wall. With the sigils and stuff for the teleportation circles, you can just like, I want to go to that one and teleport, and you're there.
Handy.
Like I said, this world is relatively high magic. Like magic is a lot of the technology of this world, and I've tried to, like, if you think something is a reasonable use of a spell that you find in the book, let me know about it. There's a very real chance that it is an actual like in universe thing.
Oh,
Does-
I wanna. Sorry.
Do I have sigils that I know already in my magical note
Yes, you absolutely do.
from the most cities, or
Probably.
is that...
You've spent most of your. Let me see. You grew up in. Where did you grow up?
No clue. I had no clue. Somewhere.
Okay. So on this continent though.
Yeah.
So you would have the teleportation sigils for at least Kartuk and Kirsch, Piros Gazlo, Convergence, Orkland, the Elven capital, whose name I have completely forgotten and didn't remember to mark on the thing. Probably Taquiden, because that's the major like southern continent city nowadays. Maybe this city, probably not Alethea. Probably like San Meadow and Travstown now have teleportation circles, but you would not have those in your thing probably. You could get them relatively easily, but you wouldn't have like probably written them down.
Yeah,
So my-
that was my okay. Sorry, that was my next question. Is there a place where I can read up on those so I can learn more?
There's a little office shack next to each of the teleportation circles where the people who run the network basically take payment and send the people off. That would have any place that has a like an output would have like this is the symbol and this is how much it costs to go there.
Do I
Okay.
have in my book noted down some of the sigils from my studies at the University of Kartuk and Convergence in the library or something?
You would probably have from there all of the major and minor settlements in the Kartuk Imperium. So like you would probably have San Meadow and Travstown as like you would have pretty much, and probably Trav's Redoubt. But pretty much any city or town in the Kartuk Kingdom, you would absolutely have.
Yeah, probably written down in preparation for my future studies.
Right. Probably again, Orkland, like the Langshank capital.
When Voska kind of mentions this or something, I noticed his mind drifting off or something. I'll inform him at some point that I have this.
Yeah. Vergeros, not Voska.
Right, sure. Sorry.
No worries. I try to keep in character, but so yeah, no, yeah, like I said, the book would be like they have pamphlets for the more common places to go, like just on the table.
While we're on the topic of spells, I would like to kind of relay this new spell I kind of learned in my research through the night. It might be of use to the party, and I'll start explaining how legend lore works. Basically, when I describe someone, I can kind of get a summary of significant lore about the thing. It does cost me like a bit of incense and some ivory, which the ivory doesn't go away, but the incense does. Don't worry, it was before I went to bed.
He's been researching this a while, and all of a sudden he figured out how to do it.
Basically.
Like that. Okay.
Because D&D.
Because plot. So this might be a thing we could use on either Ook or the Lich. Abu Al Fahad. Just a thing to keep in the back of our minds.
Duly noted.
So what's
Does
the
he
plan,
bring
friends?
I want to go find the ship and start flying to the Lakshank forest. Whether or not she speaks the truth, we might as well try to get some stability before we leave and pull some part of the military might with us.
Do you guys want to check out Convergence first? How the feeling is over there, maybe? And see if it's actually true that there's like very much of unrest that to the point of rebellion. Might be far smart to confirm.
I would like to visit some clerics to ask about that thing we discovered before we move on. I think Kartuk will have very good clerics. Yes.
Yes. Who all has amulets?
The original party question mark?
I do.
Earth would not take an amulet.
All right.
Nice of you, Earth.
Yeah. We'll continue on. So, Hollock, you ask around a little bit, and you're pointed toward the temple of it was Temple of Basima, which you remember from the last time you were here is an ossuary. I think it was Basima. I don't remember why you guys here went there last time, but it is the main, like, those who deal with undead and the dead go there. Like, Nadra is the actual goddess of death, but Basima's more popular.
Would it be smart to equip the ship with a few of those signs of the dead?
Yeah, but it's not
It's not.
Right. Yeah, you guys, or at least whoever's going, you get to the temple.
Was that the place with all the skulls and?
Yes,
I
ossuary
remember
made of bones.
I remember going there, but I don't remember why we went there.
I don't either, actually.
Maybe I can look at it.
I wasn't here, so I have no clue.
Just to pay heed to the gods, I guess.
I think Hollock had a question. I don't remember now. My brain's kind of fried. So,
I think we went there because of the Iron Seeker problems.
Oh, right. Yes, to get
How they propagate and all such things.
To take care
It
of.
was the when Rumpus flipped out. I think was it in the same?
Yes, it was.
Then I have a vague image why we went there.
So you go there. They don't remember you because it's been too long. It's been months since then. But welcoming. Say welcome to Basima's temple. How can we be of service today? What day of what it is? Timeline. Oh, I don't have my one open. That's why. Haha.
For me, it's the 19th of Ruby.
That
Yeah,
sounds right. Yes, 19th of Ruby.
I don't know what day of the week it is, but hey.
The first is always a Monday.
But we're Saturday.
So, anyway, this place it's like the exact opposite time of year from their season. So, like, this place is pretty subdued. Like, you don't see a lot of activity other than, there's a few priests around. You see some people arriving. Like, there's a hearse cart here. And some people are unloading a coffin from it. But yeah, they're open. So how can we be of service? What can we do for you?
Greetings. Recently, the scholars of our group here discovered that somehow 2 days were missing and got put into a jet, and we would like to get some information how this kind of things can happen and if it happens often and if it can be prevented.
Okay, let's go into the library and see if we can find out anything.
We're 2 days missing from Pharaoh from the summer.
Right, 2 days.
At least that's
2 days missing from Jade.
Oh.
No, wasn't from Farha, because it is currently Ruby.
Then I wrote it down wrong.
Yeah, it was 2 days missing from Jade, from Raya. And they're like, all right, come on in. And you guys head down into the library. You find theories on Jet. Like, nobody's 100% sure, like, what it's from, what caused it originally. There's talk about, like, in the way past, there was somebody says, like, a meteor fell from the sky, and with the meteor came Jet, but there are conflicting things because it's like, yeah, the meteor came, but Jet happened before it happened, and, that sort of thing. And you guys are there for a while, and then the priestess looks up and looks confused. And I would like what is everybody's knowledge religion?
Minus +8.
+8, all right.
+8, all right.
2.
3.
All right. 1. -1. Oh, nice. What was yours, Earth?
2.
All right. So, Striggs, you get like a strange cry like inside your head, which seems extra weird since you have proof the amulet on. And then Earth and Holoc, you two, feel like your connection to your patron pulling you outside.
Is it going outside this?
Outside the building.
I'll follow this.
So a feeling of danger, and we have to move outside, or what? What
Feeling of danger is not exactly the right way to put it, but how do I want to put this? Important that you aren't in the basement of this building. And the like the priests and everybody in here are like looking at each other, very worried. A few of them have like started praying. A couple of them have started casting spells. You're not sure what all is going on.
Do I recognize any of the spells?
It's all not divination, abjuration magic.
Yeah, but I mean, do I recognize what they can do, or?
Specifically, they are things like circle of protection against evil. Not circle of protection. Like art, like defense. What is it called?
Mage armor, shield.
Mage armor, shield, that sort of thing. Like
they are under attack.
Or they're expecting attack.
Yeah.
What kind of situations?
I don't.
Actually, yes. Holoc and Earth, both give me an insight roll. With a 12. Your.
Can I make Holoc's roll a 9, plus the 1 that's a 10 then, instead of a 5?
Sure.
Makes it a little better on him.
And you have +7 insight, right? So So a 10 and a 12. So your patron would be doing this for you, or your patrons would be doing this for you if they wanted you to. How do I want to put it? This is the sort of thing that's like, I need you, like if your boss came up to you and said, I need you to go over there and do that.
It's not like for protection, but just some sort of command from going outside. Period.
Right. Right.
So I really feel compelled to do because I don't want my boss to be angry.
Right. It's
I
like,
would go outside.
all right, so you guys head out. Anybody heading with them? It was like early morning, and it is the 19th of 19th of Ruby, and then there's kind of a shift, and you guys see the sun like not literally screaming across the sky, but like the like sun just like goes across the sky and sets, and it is full dark black outside. And you like see the starscape come up, and it is no longer the right time of year. Knowledge nature.
Only the ones outside, or
Anybody who's outside.
I went outside, so.
All right. Anything over a 10?
Was Hollock outside?
Yeah.
He went outside.
Yeah, I'll follow Hollock.
All right. So, so everybody except for the druid, which is weird. Everybody who went outside, the stars like are in the location, as if this is the first of Samsi.
the first of what?
Samsi, or sorry, Carnelian, the month after Ruby.
Okay, so it just shifted just skipped the whole month almost, or a few days.
You skipped like a week and a half.
10 days.
10 days, yeah. 9 days. Just gone. And you hear screaming from down the street.
Everyone?
Oh yeah, it is like heart-wrenching, horrible, like human suffering screaming from down the street.
Can we see anything down there?
I have dark vision.
The street lamps aren't lit because they weren't expecting it to be night. Yeah, with dark vision, you can see down the street, and you see a smaller temple. Than, well, no, actually, it'd be bigger, and it was like, as you guys look, you realize this was the Temple of Ruby, which was like in full celebration mode. Because this is the month of Ruby, and so this is when Ruby's like all of her like stuff is going on, and you see this temple, and it is like folding in on itself, like the structure is collapsing and like wrenching itself together, and this like darkness is welling up out of it, and it's pulling itself all kind of into and like the screaming is coming from people who are being pulled into this like wrenching, grinding, horrible thing.
Does it seem like something like a spell, and can I counter spell?
It seems like a spell, and you may absolutely try to counterspell it.
Okay, at my 5th level, because that's what I gained.
All right, so creature in the process of capturing this, and all right, so you start the black hole kind of
It's a
situation.
reaction, so it's pretty fast.
You start casting counterspell. You're like, I'm gonna do something about this, and your consciousness, like as you're casting this spell, your consciousness is ripped from your body. Like you feel yourself being grabbed by the strength of the spell and pulled forward. You guys all see Striggs collapse on the ground, and you feel yourself like traveling. Like your counterspell didn't work like you wanted it to, but you are a divination mage. You realize you are seeing something, and you feel yourself being like drug across a continent, until you were hovering over a small temple, surrounded by undead. This like there's this ruined temple site, and you see wights and vampires and wraiths and just all of his various undead. You also see a couple of like probably demons or devils, you're not sure which. But you're pulled like through the ground and into like the inner sanctum of this temple, and you see a lich. You're sure it's a lich, you're not 100% sure why. Standing on a dais in the front of the room. He has etched into this stone around, there is this pomegranate-sized ruby in the wall, and you see this, it's a circular calendar written around this, of etched spells, written around this ruby in the wall, and he has just finished doing the last spell, and your counter spell goes off, and you are then like you feel there was a like your counterspell going off, like there was a divination magic or divination prevention magic in this place that your counterspell interacted with. You also find yourself falling into this ruby that is like slowly darkening, and like the black tentacles of some sort of evil magic are going across it. And what are you gonna do about that? Your your consciousness is being pulled. You know where you're at, like you know how far away from your body you are, but you're also being sucked into this like calendar effect on this ruby.
Can I cast sleep on myself from within this state, or try to?
Sure. I understand what you're trying to do. Give me an
Is there
Arcana
any way
check.
we can?
Arcana check, just a normal check.
Whatever your spellcasting roll is. Everybody else,
Yes.
while he's doing that, everybody else, you guys see Striggs like casting a spell, and then you see his body collapse, and like silence in this part of this, like the collapsing temple in front of you stops. But they're still screaming and people dying in the inside of this. Ooh, 15.
Can I use?
Oh. Wait! I can use inspiration, so it becomes a 24.
There you go. Hey,
Yes!
hey, congratulations on user mechanics. Good job.
Finally.
Adds the number of ability to check to its choice. Who did you cast that on, Earth?
I presume on me.
I would try to use guidance on Mr. Collapsing over.
All right, so you may, if you wish, add a d4 to this roll.
It's a +1, so 25.
There you go. So
Can I help him with the spell magic so I can counter his counter spell?
you can try.
I cast at 5th level, just so you know.
Yeah, I will cast it at 5th level as well.
All right. I don't think there's no roll for that.
The DC equals the blah, what is it again? For each spell of 4th level or higher, it's something with auto resolving or having to roll.
When you cast a spell using a spell slot of 4th level or higher, you automatically end the effect of a spell on the target if the spell's level is equal to or less than the level of the spell slot you used. So your thingy ended
So
because it's the same
the
level.
culmination of all of this is Striggs. You remove your consciousness from this place with your sleep spell.
Okay.
With the help of Earth's like casting upon you, it is enough to like pull you into where consciousness go instead of being wherever you were. It pulls you into where consciousness goes when you're dreaming. So there's theory that dreaming is kind of another plane of existence, or it wills into another plane of existence. Either way, you are in the place of dreams. You are conscious in the place of dreams. The problem with this is the people who live in the place of dreams do not like those who are conscious there. And this is a realm of Fae, you're pretty sure, judging by what you're seeing around you, and you find yourself like going, oh, poo, and then you're snapped back into your body. Your like eyes flutter open as you awaken from Verdros's spellcasting. All of this happens in like 10 seconds. All of this has happened. The screaming started. You guys were outside. The sun stars shifted. Striggs cast his spell. Earth cast his spell. Verdros cast his spell. And you guys are now standing in the middle of the street in front of the temple of Basima. It is the like early night of the first of Carnelian, yeah, you're there.
What?
I never
First person.
Well, I'll probably take like 10 minutes to fucking refocus myself.
Striggs, you have a very clear, like, you know exactly which direction and where it was on the map. Like, like, you can focus and say it is right there.
Got it. When I gain my focus, I'll frantically start drawing up a map with that location as the center point.
I just dropped a ping. Right there.
Okay, right there you go.
Yep.
It's pretty close.
Like within a couple minutes, there are guards arriving here, like starting to unbury people. People like the priests from Basuma are like there on site, like unburying people, healing people, tending to wounded. You know, there are priests and priestesses from other temples around, and all of them have very worried expressions on their faces. Like every person who is associated with a goddess, like they're on a war footing, as far as you can tell.
So no matter what alignment they have or which god they are divine to, they all help each other, and they all are worried about the war that is coming, or the thing that just happened.
Yes. And there are no priests or priestesses of Farah alive. Even those who weren't in the temple and weren't crushed by the building are dead.
Is it like the god vanished because the month also vanished, or is it just in the temple?
You don't know. No, nobody here knows what happened.
Okay.
Like, none of the priests understand what happened. All they have is all of their fellow clerics and paladins and priests and priestesses of their sister god are now dead. The temple like sucked into itself and crushed all of the worshippers who were there. And it is now the wrong month.
I look at Strix. What happened?
still drawing a piece of paper. You see like a specific area, probably because you're familiar with the continent. That's like highlighted, like where the ping is, where the purple dot.
Hollock, you used to live in the country of Faelun, which is Gazlo, which is this where this is located.
Yes.
You recognize this place on the map. This is a like ancient abandoned city in the south of Piroshka, or the south of Faelun, relatively near the edge of the Longshank Forest. It is like always this like area is always like unnaturally dry and warm. Even in the dead of winter, it's dry and warm, and just kind of a strange place, and people tend to avoid it. But you are familiar with this place.
Guys, I think I remember this place from when I was living down there. It's a strange place. People avoid it. It's some kind of ruins. Ancient, I think.
Do you know how it's called down there?
It's an elven name, roughly translate no, actually I don't have a rough brain damn it.
Sorry,
rough translation of the elven word for this ruins is Summer's Home.
Do I know anything about that, seeing that I'm an elf?
You and Earth would know this place, somewhat at least. It's not an elven place. The word like comes from the elves, but it's not an elven place itself, and it is outside of the Lakshank like country. And again, people avoid it.
Would it be Sylvan in language and not just Elvish?
In Sylvan, actually, yes. Sylvan would so Elven it would rough translate to common as like Summer's Home. Sylvan gets you like the something along the lines of the sun lives here, or perhaps the god of the sun lives here.
The god of the sun lives here.
You understand Sylvan too, so you absolutely would get that same knowledge.
Do I have any reference about the god of the sun?
The god of the sun is Farah, whose month is Ruby.
Who just skipped 9 days and the temple just collapsed.
Yes.
I think we need to pay a visit to the house of the god of the sun.
I think we need, well, out of character because I'm still writing down. I think we need to get to a temple that's related to this next month.
Yeah.
That would be
Gruntos
the Temple of
was
Samsi.
actually about to say that, but it's the home of Samsi.
Home of what?
Home of the god of this month, wherever that
Samsi.
may be.
Yeah. So this part of the town is kind of the temple district. So finding the Temple of Samsi is easy. The priests and priestesses there are like, any of them who have spellcasting ability are like in the ruins of the Temple of Farah, trying to save as many people as possible. A lot of the like priests and priestesses who aren't clerics, who aren't spellcasters, are like with each other and like weeping at like tragedy, and like there are people like organizing them to like help dig out stuff and so on and so forth.
Is there a way we can help them?
Yeah, sure, you guys can help dig out the temple. You like, people are like rallying to try to find anybody alive left. Probably about an hour into this, like anybody who, like, the crying has stopped because the people who were living, breathing, and crushed by this have been taken out and healed, and those who aren't crying anymore. What are you trying to do with that, Earth?
Trees grow up from underneath the rubble, pushing things out of the...
Oh, sweet. Yep, absolutely. Like you push it along, and like these trees aren't going to live very long, but they absolutely, like, almost like cranes, are holding rubble out of the way. So you guys spend probably an hour helping to dig people out. Like, looking around in this place, there is most of the temples have kind of a central like meeting area or like worship hall sort of thing. And could I get a knowledge religion from anybody?
Everybody or anybody?
Anybody who wants to.
I'm so busy.
Ooh, 19.
I'll take like 2-3 hours to finish my map.
So 1 hour is passed already, so you still have 2 hours to...
Yeah. So 19 Verdros. So you, like, looking at this destruction, and your knowledge of how these temples are laid out, there is against kind of the back wall of these worship spaces, there's usually the holy symbol of the god is like usually encrusted in this back wall with the gem of the god. So ruby would be, yeah, there'd be like rubies encrusted in the holy symbol on the back wall of this worship space. And it looks to you like that symbol, like, is where the center of this pull-in was.
I point that out to everybody at the party so they have knowledge about it.
Yeah, and with the point out, you guys are like, oh yeah, that's like the center of this.
Do we have any means to determine if any other temples of Ruby or Farah got destroyed?
Not from here. But another city with another large temple would be just a teleport away.
Do the other priests of the other temples are in communication with the other temples in a different city, so we can maybe ask it?
They're probably doing something like that, but they're real busy. Like, they're spending all of their ability to cast spells into trying to keep people alive. Because the Temple of Ruby, at just before noon in a day on the 19th of Ruby, there were thousands of people here.
Earth would use his knowledge of medicine to aid them.
You absolutely can. Doing things like splinting bones and like suturing up wounds, so somebody who is healing with magic can focus on somebody who's dying rather than somebody who's just injured.
Right.
when I get ready and I see the chaos around me, I'll put my map away for a minute and I'll cast Lumen's Tidy Hut so people can take shelter in there and maybe properly heal instead of like on the ground randomly.
All right. You make a tiny hut, which immediately turns into basically an ER. People who have knowledge of
Takes 1
medicine.
minute
Yeah.
to cast.
People who have knowledge of medicine come in and set up tables, and like you're not the only one who's doing that specific spell in that specific way. About the location of the home of the goddess. Sure. So you find a priestess of Samsi Grunthos. And you ask your question. And she kind of like you're distracting her from her, like she wasn't doing anything because she's not a cleric, she's not a spellcaster. So she was just like worrying, like folding cloths and bandages, but just somebody who was just kind of worrying, like worrying as in like rubbing her hands, not worrying as in like you know what I mean. And she kind of looks down at you, blinks a couple times, and says, "Yeah, there's the old temple ruins that there was legend. I mean, we don't. It's not a place that we go to other than every once a few years. Somebody might decide to have like a pilgrimage there. It was found on the western continent recently, next to a river. But that's all I know. I mean, I could show you on the map where it's at if you want."
Yes, please.
Well, do you have a map?
I know someone who has a map.
I have multiple maps.
All right, you get a map from Striggs.
The one with the location highlighted.
Yep.
Because it's the most recent.
The temple or the home of Samsi, or the legend of the, like, there is a ruined city on a river right over here on the western continent. She's like, yeah, it's there. There's not much there though. It's like there's no people living there or anything. I mean, you have to pay.
I did relay this to the rest after I got like done casting my tiny hut, just so the story actually like makes sense. Because
Do you ping the Great Western Continent because I didn't see it?
Yes, right here. Should just put a marker down. Draw freehand. There, that good enough.
That's a big house. She must be rich.
What in the world is that? All right.
highlighted areas are usually like bigger than they actually are on the maps.
Yes.
I know.
Thank you. I won't keep you too much more. And I wander back to where
you notice that like the couple of just a little bit of distraction, and she's no longer like worrying her hands when she's trying to fold up these she's actually starting to do something useful.
Do you give me my map back? Otherwise, I will ask it in like
Yes,
half an hour.
you have your map back.
Okay.
You and your map.
There's a question I want you guys to ask that I won't tell you what to ask.
The only question I still have is why the Basima guys acted so strange.
Oh, ah. You ask a couple of people, like you guys have been here for it's like midnight, 1 a.m. at this point. You guys have been helping out and stuff for a few hours. You find somebody who was with you, like cleaning up and like getting stuff ready back in their temple, and they tell you something was wrong. We knew, or we felt something was wrong. We don't know what. Something happened to Farah. Our high priest has finished her. Oh, there's a spell for it where you talk to your god.
There's several for that.
There's like a high level one where you can like say, "Hey, witness me." Let me look at. I'm gonna look at the cleric. Hold on, cleric spells.
Sounded more like a movie. The witness me part.
Yeah. Druid spells, cleric
Which-
spells.
Would work, but
I think
Foresight.
commune.
Mac.
Settler.
Let me look up commune. Contingency, conjure fey. Conjure. Commune. Yep, nope, commune. So has communed with Basima, and has found that something has happened to Farah, and we're not sure what. But there is the worry. The last time Farah was cut from Basima like this was it was a long time ago, and all of the gods like weren't they're like there was the gods were all locked away inside artifacts for many generations. History, anybody who, knowledge and history, but for anybody.
I'll probably be there.
Religion also works.
Oh, sorry. Fuck. It's the same bonus anyway for me.
Okay, so
Which one?
history.
Just a second, sorry. There you go.
Do you want to burn your inspiration to get that 26?
Me?
No, I'm
Yeah.
joking. You should always, before you know the outcome, you need to say whether you're using inspiration.
Okay.
So 1813. So Striggs, actually Hollock as well. You
Earth.
guys. So there is, I guess, legend lore. That the gods were locked away. A long time ago, thousands of years ago, and relatively recent. Yes, 15 plus. Relatively recently, maybe 300 years at the outside, less than that even. Somebody went around and basically found artifacts that had entrapped the gods and released them. And that's actually recent enough memory that you might have a date for some of this going on. I have to look up really old game notes. So nope, not that game. Yep, that game. Badoo. So 6330. The first god was released from her imprisonment. And it was Topaz. So in 6330, in the month of Citrine, on the 14th day or the 13th day, it's sometime early in the month, in the first half of the month of Citrine, the Topaz. I will find all my notes and I will use them. Doggone it. The goddess Yakit was freed from her imprisonment.
It's actually not too long ago. Mythalis would have actually like seen that, right?
Lyphalis would have, from the timeline she gave you, she would have been alive and an elf. Or no, she would have been alive and a half elf. That was after she died.
Oh, right.
But before she rose to power in Kartuk. Or no, I was actually after she rose to power in Kartuk. So yes, Lyphalis would have been there, or near.
Interesting.
All right. So you guys, it's like adrenaline keeps you guys going until, well, adrenaline and jet lag, because it's not night. Like you had several hours of day left, so it like becomes what your body says should be evening about the time the sun is rising. So you're like 12 hours off. So the sun rises on the 2nd of Carnelian, and those of you more attuned with nature, like, yeah, that's where Carnelian rises. Like you can tell, like you guys, if you live in a certain part of the world, you kind of know which in a month, like where the sun is going to come up, north south sort of thing. But the sun rises on the 2nd of Carnelian.
Do we know that what you just said as well now, or did they keep that information for them? Eastbourne and Hollock. Strix and Hollock.
That's up to them to say.
I will, when we get some point of rest, tell the rest of our group what I saw in more detail, except for just the fucking map. And I probably did not see any insignias of the spell, right? So I could like figure out what kind of spell it would be, because it was too far away and got like teleported back or something.
Give me an intelligence roll, please.
Just straight up intelligence.
Just straight intelligence.
That's a 14.
You don't know what the spell is, but the center top and the one just to the right of it ring a bell.
Oh, so it's a multi-spell, basically.
So what you saw around the ruby was a circle in 28 pie pieces, basically. And the center top and the one just to the right of it look very familiar. With a 14, yeah, they look familiar. You're not sure what.
Got it. I'll also make sure to notice to everyone that I think I ended up in some kind of Fey realm, but then got flashed back, and I'll just before I kind of have to get myself together again.
So let's get to our ship and get to the temple.
Could we research if something like this has happened before? Temples getting crushed?
You guys can research. I'll go get the boat. and
Can
come pick
I
it up in Kirk.
remember the spells well enough to have like a rough drawing of it on my map?
With a 14 on that intelligence roll,
Probably not.
very, very. Do you know Abyssal?
No.
Then you saw letters in Abyssal that you can't interpret.
Okay, got it.
It's like you can write something like spiky, spiky letters. No real like meaning.
Which language is Abyssal based on? Not Dwarfish, is it?
Abyssal is
Demon?
it's a demon language.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's like with the letters and stuff. Sometimes like Sylvan is Elven.
So it's got its own script.
Absolutely, I don't know what the fuck it does.
So like it's the equivalent of you, Eastbourne, seeing somebody writing in Arabic. Like, yeah, you can tell there's letters there, but what they mean or how to shape them or how to draw them, yeah. Script infernal, sure.
I wasn't sure anymore. Okay, so well, I'd say that's two spells of them. Kind of was familiar, but I didn't get the time to actually check them out or anything. So there was a big ruby in the middle of it, and I know for sure it's this location. I point up a map.
Do we go to where they were and hope to catch them, or do we try to figure out, go to the next month and try to catch them there, or do we try something else, or just go Lakshank and do whatever and go attack Ook at earliest convenience?
Well, I mean, he did have to take like 19 days at least of this month, if not the previous month as well, to get to this point. So assume it's not an instant spell.
Also-
we will not be fast enough on the Western continent. If
Yeah,
it
is there any
this
teleport
fast.
service?
But we could use this incident to talk to the elves that there is a greater threat on the horizon and that they should use their armies to fight this new threat instead of fighting against Katuk.
Yeah.
Are we sure we are able to fight against the Lich? Is my biggest issue.
Well, I don't
Well,
want
no,
months
no.
to be disappearing.
We might have to.
And we should check out the home of the god of sun god. Maybe there are still undead there, then we have proof of the threat to convince the elves.
Do we know at what date the god of Farah got caught? Previous?
What date she came back?
No, what date she got caught? If it was also on the 19th of
Oh,
Ruby.
the imprisonment was thousands of years ago. Nobody has records from then. Like there is a lot of history that has been found in this world of times that were before. I guess again for the players, you guys are living in a post-apocalyptic world. It's just really post. You are thousands of years past the end of the world. And, humanity and elves and everybody have rebuilt and are discovering, ruins and ancient places and all those sorts of things. Some places where people find like the temple listed. People find it, and like there's this feeling that it should be avoided, or that is like it's a dangerous place. Very ancient magic and so on and so forth. Like, there's nobody who lives there or anywhere around it for reasons that you're not like. Nobody could give you a coherent answer for why the priests of Farah don't have like this massive temple at the home, the apparent home of their god. The fastest way to get there, buy a horse or 6.
I mean, it's like 5 weeks away by our fast boat. The temple of the previous month.
Where are we right now? In Kartuk, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Can I teleport us to Gazlo?
Yes.
But we want to get our ship, or don't we?
It might be too slow.
Oh, okay.
So
I suggest this option to the party that I can teleport. I can make a teleport circle so we can teleport to Saglo, just to make up some time, if that's okay.
So teleportation to Pierce Goslow is instantaneous. The walking speed overland is a little bit slower than your ship moves. Like your ship doesn't actually move significantly faster than you could walk a place, but you're not walking.
We're not fatigued.
Right. Horses could get you from Pirosh Goslow to that temple in what, about a week and a half to 2 weeks from looking at this distance.
That's pretty fast.
Yeah, let's go with the fastest option.
But do we want to go there? Or do we gonna go to the next month's goddess temple? It's kind of hard.
Problem is, I don't know any teleportation runes on the western. Or do I?
You probably could find teleportation rings on the Western continent. The problem being, the 2 cities that have, or 2 towns that have population are up here. They are not down here.
So it will be a very long time to travel that across the desert as well.
Right, and well, and there's it's unexplored. You would be faster to hire a boat from Kirsch and sail there than it would be to teleport across to the cities that are there and then walk or ride horses or something across the desert, across mountain ranges to there.
Are other boats faster than ours?
There, to your knowledge, there are no other flying boats, and sailing is a little slower than your boat is. So I guess taking your boat would probably be the fastest.
But it's like 18 weeks.
Right.
But it's probably also that the village, or anyway, the thing that I saw, probably has to travel there as well in some kind of way. I am assuming.
I have been thinking about the Earth, but there's an issue. Let me just post a spell, then you will read the issue. The last sentence.
The last sentence. You need
every day from 1 year.
I need to craft it every day on the ship for 1 year, and then there's a permanent teleportation circle though.
and you can't
Yeah,
use
no
it
option.
to teleport if you do that.
You need not to use the circle. You can use it, in my opinion. It just say you don't have to use it, but
you need not use the circle to teleport. Oh, okay. So
yeah,
yes.
you can use it, but you don't need to use it
Right,
to
right.
to.
Yep.
If I read correct. Whew, lucky.
2 destinations on the material plane determined by your DM. Do you have all of the destinations of all the cities? Just you see no issue here. It only costs 50 brass a day for a year.
How
Only-
much days are there in a year?
Well, there are 13 months of 28 days, or at least there used to be.
Hey,
Hey, the year's faster. It's cheaper now.
we skip 19 days every week in the year.
Unforeseen bonus.
Can't we just skip the whole month, a whole year in one go on one next time?
Do you really want to
No.
do that?
No, let's not.
I mean, I wasn't actually being that serious with that comment, but okay.
No, I actually considered it when I saw the spell. I really considered it, but the problem is we're not every day on the boat. I should need to travel every day to the boat.
Hollick has an idea.
Wait, you're actually considering using that, and I dislike the host strongly.
No, above it.
Wait, is that about that room that is?
Yeah.
Yeah, I still don't know what it is or what's in there or.
I know something, but it's not the thing they're talking about.
Oh, Strings learned something about it. He even met a very nice troll who was
At
gonna
least it didn't bash my head in.
he's gonna give him a wonderful gift.
Gift of sleeping for every time?
Now the gift of returning
know.
back to the boat.
Right. But I had to agree to give him back a favor.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
I didn't.
Are they in danger as well? They might grant us a favor if they are in danger.
Out of character. Alok.
But I think at this point teleportation and horses, the fastest way.
We could always also split the party.
Yeah,
There's
let's not do
entire
that.
I was wondering when you're gonna
songs
remember that,
saying
Hollick.
why you don't do that.
That was my cue.
You guys split the party every time. You're always splitting the party.
It's because you were forcing us to.
You might want to focus on this one thing for now.
I think actually we have safe passage through her realm because of the incident with Eastbourne and the things that got talked there.
You mean the missing days from before?
Yes.
We found now where it's causing it.
Hollick could always ask his where
Patron.
We're
Patron.
already
for a little bit of help.
we're already sort of helping her trying to figure out what happened and getting the days back. So the least she could do is get us going
There's-
to where we need to be.
Yeah, there's
Yeah,
the possibility that fairy circles could drop you off closer if those exist.
Yeah, let's go for it. And the other ones are like, what are we going into?
Go for
Um,
what?
Before anyone is leaving, can I start and receive? I'll go to the Temple of the Winter God and the Death God and make sure we get as much holy symbols as I can for like 100 gold or 100 brass.
Give me a charisma roll. Are you explaining what you're using it for? That's the question.
Yes.
Okay.
That I'm thinking that
Give
their
me-
gods are in danger.
Give me a charisma roll. The number is the number of holy symbols that you get.
Oh,
Can I help him?
You may.
But I could
Oh.
make
Guidance.
Sorry.
make it a 15 plus 1, which is 16, which is very above natural or normal.
Sure, 16.
I do want to do. Yep.
And I
16.
help you, Eastborn.
That gives me 1d4. Yeah.
Yep, 1d4 extra more, 3 more, so 19 now.
19. My charisma bonus is only 1, so I'd rather do this than.
Vergeros, you were helping out, right?
Yes.
Roll your charisma as well.
Oh.
22. So you guys pick up 31, 41? 41. Yes. 41 blessed symbols of Basima to aid you on your tasks.
You
got
keep
noted.
him with you. Eastborn, you keep him with you. Oh, sorry, Strix.
I will.
Do we still need to pay for them?
They give you
I
them.
spent 100. Oh, okay.
Ah, we give him.
You
Oh,
donated
nice.
100 brass, and
Yeah.
they gave you 41 holy symbols, which are worth
Nice.
about 50 brass each.
There you go. It's very, very generous from them.
They're worried.
heavy-
They're scared.
How heavy are they?
These things are made of metal, so they're probably 4 or 5 ounces each.
How many pounds is that? Because weight isn't pounds.
So a quarter pound each. So 10
got it.
10 pounds, 11 pounds.
If you want me to help carrying, give something.
No, I'm fine. It's only 10
Okay.
pounds. It's not too much.
All right.
They shouldn't be particularly big, I presume. It's just a blessing that takes most of the gold, right? Usually.
Yeah, it's just it's a probably a bronze symbol. The blessing is what gives it its power. But you know, this is their main temple in the main city of this empire on this continent. They have lots of this sort of thing around.
How long does the blessing continue?
A year and a day.
All right. That day is very important. It's also nice to know that, right?
Yes.
All right. So you guys buy or rent horses. Probably buy horses. And it's like a if you push a horse hard, you can get to your boat in an hour.
We do that.
Wait, wrong.
Wait, what?
Wrong click.
So
I push my horse a little bit more with mage hand.
There you go.
anyway,
I would like to talk to the horses that are in the rental area to ensure we get the most sound.
give me your we cast speak with animal or talk with it. How do you? Yeah, there you go. Speak with animal. So you get some like young. You talk to a few horses and you get some like young ones that are like, yeah, we can race, basically. So you find horses that are like eager for this ride.
On the back of someone else's horse.
You know, Striggs and Grunthos could pretty easily share a horse. But
Do
you
they
guys
want that though?
you guys, it's whatever the standard cost is for a horse in the player's handbook. I don't know what it is, like 10 brass each.
I think it's like 60.
Or like 60 brass each. I think you have enough handy. Whatever that cost is. Like the horses like are like really amped up for this race. And Earth, you're like, all right, let's go. And like 10 minutes later, they're like, okay, are we done yet? You're like, no, because you're following the rest of the party who everybody's like riding hard. You ride like you wouldn't want to push a horse past about an hour of gallop. the fastest one, whatever that is. I think it's gallop. Because you can
Gallop.
you can actually like ride a horse into the ground and kill it. I would like those of you who have the reins of your horses to give me a is there a riding skill or a animal skill?
Handling.
Yeah, animal handling skill,
Animal handling.
please.
There's also writing that you get like as proficiency, like languages and weapons. And
Oh,
stuff.
give me animal handling.
Woohoo!
Holy buckets!
I had plus 0.
Yeah, but you got a 20. All right.
I know.
Earth 13.
Orgold has a nice roll as well.
Oh yeah. So you guys are able to like not injure the horses. You ride them hard. Vergeros, you're like, okay guys, slow down a little bit. We want to make it there with not killing our horses. So you take them and you walk them for a couple minutes. You arrive and the horses have gotten to lather up, but they're not like, they're exhausted, but you're not in danger of having killed them.
Kill them, pull them down with presentation.
Riding horses, 75
Well,
brass each. Thank you, Grunthos. So please spend your 75 brass because they wouldn't rent you a horse. Horses are too valuable.
I want to pay for mine. I don't have enough.
So figure out the money between the group of you. You got to. There you go.
Oh wait, I'm in the back of someone, so.
Yeah.
Conjure creature, conjure a horse.
Yeah, you can conjure a horse. You guys, I'm gonna just, you guys handle that with your character. I don't care how you pay for it. You arrive at this little fishing village. Like the people in town, it's midday-ish when you get there, but everybody's like moving real slow if they're up. You see a lot of like houses closed, like people are sleeping because it's a really weird day. The guards are like all antsy because, well, they lost a day. They lost more than a day. Earth becomes a horse. You guys arrive at the ship. The guards you had set up are like kind of surprised to see you riding up on horses, but are like, oh yeah, everything's fine. Ship's been left alone while you guys are here. Yeah, welcome back.
Thank you very much. We're kind of in a hurry, and I'll flip him a brass piece as a bonus.
Okay.
We probably want to leave the ship here, right?
Really?
What do you want to do? Take it up in the air and then vanish?
Or maybe fly out, or like sail off a little bit and then fly and then go.
I mean,
Yeah, what happens to the ship then?
We take it.
Park it in the skies.
How are we gonna find it back then?
We take it.
you
We're
can't
heading off.
you can't take the ship inside of itself.
No, as in we start traveling with the ship. That's what I mean, right? Or are we traveling just with the horses?
Portal.
No.
I thought you
Portal.
were running through the door.
Where
On
did
the
you want the
ship,
portal?
Yeah. I want to know the same. How will you guys summon a portal somewhere?
The portal is already there. We just have to open it again.
Oh right.
Wait. There was a portal on the ship all the time? Why does no one ever say something to me?
Because it's not the safest place on the other side if you don't have business to attend to there. And I are invited to do so.
You could have given me a fair warning, didn't you?
I'm assuming you guys are saying this as you're like boarding the ship.
Yeah.
Of
Where
course.
does this portal lead?
Under my breath, I say fable.
Yeah, it's a portal into the.
Okay, instead of tipping the guys, or well, and including tipping the guys, I'll give him 9 extra brass to watch it for somewhat longer and to absolutely stay out of the basements. Under no circumstances, anyone, including you, should enter. And while we are heading down.
All right, so you guys head down into the front hold of the ship. You open up the door.
Like the magic.
Wait. We have it barricaded and magically.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right. So you need to undo that.
Well, it took like an action, right, to undo it for me.
Yes.
That's, I think you said.
I use 10 minutes to disassemble the barricade enough to where we can just shove it out of.
I just
Sama.
pay very good attention, so I know exactly what you guys are doing.
All right. So you guys get it to where you can open this door. Earth, you recognize this is a fairy ring. You've seen and traveled through hundreds of these in your life. This one looks angry. Like you have the very real sense that this thing is angry. Hollock, you also see a fairy ring. I'll also know the fairy ring well. This is inviting. Everybody else, give me knowledge Fey.
We don't have knowledge Fey. It's just generally like nature, religion.
Knowledge with your intelligence. I don't know. Give me a knowledge roll.
I have a Fey ancestry.
Use that. Give yourself an advantage on it then.
Okay.
Oh,
Advantage
no.
on nature or intelligence?
Intelligence.
18.
There you go. So 9 and 8, no. I'm missing one roll.
Did I need to roll?
Yeah. 22. Oh, there you go.
That's pretty good.
18 and 22. Vergeros and Horgold. This is a like there is something dangerous on the other side of this portal. You're not exactly sure what, but you can kind of feel it through the portal. But that there's something dangerous on the other side. You're not sure what. Yeah. And who's all taking a leap of step through?
Wait, is it open already?
Anybody stepping inside of the portal like disappears. Like this thing is active.
Okay.
Same.
Less work for me.
All right. Horgold, you are first. Striggs, you are second. Vergeros, you are in third.
It's a mystery.
Okay. So I want to set the scene a little bit. As each of you step through, you feel, with the exception of Hollock and Earth, and that's all right. So with the exception of Hollock and Earth, you step through and you feel like a gut-wrenching pull. Like your bones are being carefully lifted out of the meat of your flesh. Like that feeling of like all of your muscles are being pulled from, all of your bones are being pulled out from your muscles. Striggs, the shield goes up and it helps reduce the pain, but it's kind of like all around you. You like shield yourself from some of this, but you you feel it, and Hollock asks his question, and suddenly you're all standing in the same room inside of a very elaborate house. Those of you who entered first are like, the pain is completely gone, but like the memory of it still exists. And you are standing in the several of you have been here before. At least 3 of you have been here before.
Don't touch the fruit.
Hollock, Horgold, and Grunthos. You recognize this as Aurora's palace, I guess you would call it. Earth, you have also been here before, but you were always the your patron was always like, you were always like the, the person standing one step behind and to the right of somebody here. You are like, you guys are all there with no specific rank, I guess. Virtuos and Striggs, you are in a very large open room. There is a throne kind of in the middle of the room, up on a platform or dais. Sitting in this throne is the angriest, most beautiful woman you have ever seen. Like, there is a legend among the Fae that in their anger they can like rend the flesh from their body, like literally could become so angry they rend the flesh from their body. You think this woman is within a hair's breadth of that. And she scans over you, and like her eyes light upon Hollock, kind of in your center, and the like emotion it's like a light switch. She switches from rage and anger to like sweet, bright, happy. And if it wasn't for the insanity in her eyes, you would think this was the most beautiful creature you had ever witnessed.
Take a deep bow.
Same.
Don't mess with crazy, I'm thinking.
She takes a deep breath and flings something heavily against the wall. Like, she just flings something out of her left hand, and it hits a far wall heavily with kind of a wet, meaty sound. And she says, a month is gone. And as you guys take this scene in, you realize that there are dozens, if not hundreds, of creatures, like either elves or trolls, or like there are piles of bone and flesh that have been just destroyed, and the thing that hit the wall was a full-sized, probably human male, like just just wet meat at this point. And we'll go ahead and end there. So thank you all, everybody, for playing. We will be back again next weekend to figure out what Aurora's gonna want of you. I think you all have a pretty good idea, but she's a little mad right now, so we'll see how well that goes. So thank you all for playing. We'll be back again next week. I hope to see you then. Bye.